Hey Hoopheads, Brad here, breaking down another win from the Raptors championship run, and today I want to talk about the Raptors 92-90 win over the Sixers in Game 7 of the second round. Now this game is obviously famous because it has the monster Kawhi Leonard shot at the buzzer, but also the defense in this game was incredible. The Raptors held the Sixers to just 13 points in the first quarter. They held Butler to 5 of 14 shooting, Embiid was 6 for 18, Simmons had only 5 attempts with 5 turnovers. Let's get into it. Right off the tip, you can see the Sixers going for it aggressively, and as JJ Redick comes off the double screen, you see Lowry's going to get picked off, so he pushes Danny Green up over the screen, and then Redick has a little give and go with Simmons, and watch the way that Pascal gets right out to Redick's body, while Green immediately slides onto Ben Simmons, cutting off that potential pass to the basket. And now the ball has to go out to Embiid, who does a pump fake and drive on Gasol, but there's Danny Green with the help defense, so Embiid just has to pull up and settle for the short jumper instead of getting all the way to the rim. And then down at the other end, you see Kawhi with the nice putback, and as he runs back on defense, he sees the play materializing. Watch him call out to Marc Gasol to get out to JJ Redick before the pass is even thrown. And that gives Gasol enough time to get over there and get a hand up and hopefully affect that shot. And now off the missed shot, you see all 5 Raptors getting back on defense as Ben Simmons tries to push it. They wall off the paint, so he has to kick it out to the top where Joel Embiid is, and you see how slow Gasol is on that closeout. He wants him to take that shot. Anytime you can get Embiid operating on the perimeter instead of around the basket, that is definitely a win. Embiid had just 6 field goal attempts in the paint. He also had 6 in the mid-range and 6 from beyond the three-point line, and that's a great balance for the Raptors defense. And on this play, as Butler comes up for the handoff, you can see how there's kind of a lane here open for him. So he's going to turn the corner and try to drive, but Gasol drops down and stays with him really well. Plus, with the great hands to get the strip on him. Not a lot of bigs have the kind of hands where they can get a strip on a perimeter player like that, but Gasol is next level great on defense. And then here you see the early screen, the Raptors switch it, so now Lowry is on Simmons, does a great job pushing him toward the baseline so he's not a threat to score, and now you can see him lining up this pass. Kawhi can see it too, so he gets ready to rotate, and then as the ball goes up to Butler, Gasol runs him off the three-point line, and Danny Green steps up from the baseline, cuts him off, gets a hand up, blocks the shot, and the Raptors recover it. A great defensive possession, great help, great rotations. And now as Tobias Harris pushes it in transition, Fred is going to worry about stopping the ball while Danny Green gets in position to cut off the pass to Simmons. And as Harris gets to the free throw line, you can see this pass to the corner is going to be pretty open, but here's Siakam streaking down the sidelines, and a lot of guys will go at a dead sprint and overshoot this, but Pascal slows his momentum, and that allows him to pick off the pass as Harris tries to throw it behind him. Great anticipation by Pascal Siakam. Good work by the Raptors in general getting back on defense. And now with Embiid and Redick off the floor, the Raptors are feeling a bit more bold. They go with the trap on Jimmy Butler to get the ball out of his hands, and now Monroe has it, not even looking to score, just wants to get the ball to Butler. Kawhi with the great anticipation, able to get his hands in there, poke the ball away, going down to the other end where he throws down the one-handed dunk. And now the Raptors are in their zone and the Sixers are trying to work it around the perimeter, but because of the Raptors' great switching, the Sixers struggle to gain an advantage. Eventually Harris gets a step on Danny Green, and as he does, you can see Kawhi is dropped off of Mike Scott and is worried about Embiid cutting to the basket, and the pass there is open, but Ben Simmons is actually the one who intercepts this one, and he reroutes it out to Embiid at the top, and as he tries to take Danny Green off the dribble, Green with the reach around steal, the Raptors recover it, and Kawhi finds Danny Green for the slam down at the other end. Nice pressure from the Raptors on the perimeter to force that turnover. And now as Ben Simmons pushes it in transition, you see Danny Green trying to D him up, but Simmons has too much speed. Gasol steps up to cut him off, and then as Redick comes up for the handoff, watch how aggressively Green goes out to him. He gets under the Embiid screen, and then as Redick comes back over the screen, Gasol steps out to him, really trying to prevent that three-point shot. Simmons fakes the handoff to him and then drives to the middle, drops it off for Embiid, but as he goes up, the shot's going to be contested and he just holds on to it for a little bit too long, gets called for the travel, and that's great work from the Raptors, applying so much pressure so early in the possession, and then the nice help from Kawhi underneath on Embiid to force that travel. And now the Raptors handle the initial screen well, and then the ball goes to Embiid and Redick's going to run over it. Check out Fred dodging this screen while Gasol steps up to prevent that three-point attempt. and then as Redick gets inside the arc, Fred is able to get a hand in there from behind and poke the ball loose. Great hands, great work getting over that screen. And now you see Butler with the ball at the elbow, and he's going to give it to Embiid and try to post Lowry up. And first, Lowry doesn't let himself get back down at all. And then as Butler spins off him, Lowry fronts him, preventing that entry pass. So Butler has to run back up to the elbow to get the ball. He gets a step on Lowry, who overshoots it. But as Butler drives and circles under the basket, the Raptors do a nice job of making the passing options unappealing. He tries to kick it out to Redick. The pass is a little off. Redick tries to go up for the shot, but Green's going to block it, so he has to just drop it off to Embiid, who chucks up a three-pointer with the shot clock running out. Really great pressure throughout that possession. And then on this play, as Butler drives into the paint, you see Serge rotate over from the opposite side of the key, and as Butler's looking for a pass, Ennis is open in the corner. Redick is a more tempting option, but Gasol is in the way. That means Butler has to jump to pass, and that gives Green enough time to rotate out to him. And as Ennis drives, Lowry crosses the key, ready to take the charge, so Ennis has to pull up short, misses the shot as a result. Great rotations from the Raptors. And now as Redick comes off the Embiid screen, watch Gasol and Siakam get out to prevent the three-point shot with the trap. Their pressure gives Kawhi enough time to rotate from the weak side. He almost gets the strip on Embiid as he tries to put it on the floor. Embiid recovers it and gets it to Redick. And right here, the Sixers are going to swing it to the opposite elbow and corner. And watch Kawhi dart across the court. First, Lowry runs out at the three-point shooter, and then Kawhi is right behind for the great shot contest in the corner. He misses. Gasol with the nice box out too. Not able to corral it, but great dynamic defense from Toronto. And then on this play, as Embiid gets the ball, he wants to throw the pass to Redick, but watch this ball denial defense from Fred VanVleet, first preventing the backdoor pass, then preventing the handoff, then preventing the backdoor pass again, and while you're watching that, Kawhi snuck over and stole the ball. And that's the exact same thing that happened to Joel Embiid. Here, watch, look how he turns his head, and as he does, Kawhi slowly takes note that he's not paying attention, sneaks over and just takes the ball away from him, and now he's taking the ball down to the other end and finishing with two hands like he's OG Anunoby, and Kawhi gets all the credit there for that steal and dunk, but the whole thing was set up by Fred VanVleet's elite ball denial. And now on this play, as Ennis cuts up to get the ball, check out Embiid trying to get post position on Gasol, just slams into him, and then as Embiid gets the ball, Siakam comes over with the double team, his hands up nice and high, and that prevents the pass over the top to the cutting Ben Simmons. And now as Embiid gets rid of it, check out how Siakam drops into the passing lane, preventing that pass to Ben Simmons under the basket. And now as the Sixers scramble to get something with the shot clock ticking down, you see Simmons trying to attack off the dribble, but he's met by multiple defenders, and the ball goes to Harris in the corner, who gets his shot heavily contested by Danny Green. A nice overall possession from the Raptors. And now after Embiid sets the screen for Butler, he's going to go over and set a screen for JJ Redick. Lowry dodges it artfully to get up to Redick on the three-point line. And now Redick pitches it to Embiid and runs off the screen again. And the Raptors go out hard to him like they have been, but Embiid fakes the handoff, and now he has a wide open lane to the basket. But you see Green there stepping up. Green and Serge's pressure forces Embiid to abandon his shot attempt. Simmons is able to save it to Harris. And now watch how Danny Green stays in front of Embiid until Harris lets go of that ball. Then he gets out to run Butler off the three-point line. Gasol steps up, takes it right in the numbers. That's going to be an offensive foul. Great team defense by the Raptors there, getting into rotation. And now in the second half, in transition, Simmons with the ball, and the Raptors just sagging off him, waiting for him to commit to a move, and the second he does, Kawhi steps up to him, Siakam right there to get a hand in the passing lane, get a deflection, and force the turnover. And here you see a mistake from Marc Gasol. As Embiid gets the ball, Gasol is too aggressive with his closeout, and that allows Embiid to take him off the dribble, gets into the lane, gets fouled by Siakam, finishes with the and one, and that's why you generally see Gasol closing out short to Embiid so he doesn't get beat off the dribble like that. And here as Harris tries to attack, he's met by three defenders, has to hand it off to Embiid, and watch the way Lowry just steps up to Embiid, makes him take a little detour, and then Siakam steps up and makes him take a little detour, and that allows Marc Gasol enough time to get back into position. Now Embiid pitches it out and tries to post him up. He gets the ball and he faces up and he tries to take Gasol off the dribble, but there's not much of a mobility advantage there, and Embiid ends up settling for a tough fadeaway baseline jumper. And now some nice individual defense from Lowry as he anticipates James Ennis's move on the drive, takes it in the chest, a little bit of a stumble, no foul called, but he loses the ball, and that's going to be a turnover. And now the Sixers run an early screen to get Ben Simmons switched onto Fred VanVleet, and this might be a good chance for Simmons to back Fred down. Instead, Tobias Harris cuts to the basket. Simmons tries to throw the pass, but Fred with the great hands, able to deflect it. Not only that, chases it down and sprints down to the other end where Embiid gets the block, but Lowry's able to rip it away from Simmons on the rebound, drops it to Serge, who finishes with the soft touch. Great work by Fred to create that bucket. End of the third now, Embiid gets the ball, and watch Lowry slide into position to take this monster charge from Embiid, sacrificing his body to get the stop. Heart of a champion. And now the Sixers inbound it with 14 seconds on the shot clock, and first they set a screen to get Tobias Harris switched onto Lowry, and then Harris is going to go post him up, and the Sixers swing it to him, but it takes a little bit too long, and now by the time he takes his first dribble, there's only 5 seconds left on the shot clock. You see Fred dart under the Embiid screen. The pass goes to Redick, a little give and go action, and as Redick comes off the screen, you see Gasol step up to prevent that shot. That means Redick has to take another dribble, and he runs out of time, a 24-second violation. And now as Embiid comes up and sets a screen, you see Gasol showing a trap, and then Butler dishes it off to Embiid. And watch the way Siakam just takes one giant step towards Embiid, and that's enough to make Embiid change direction, try to go to the middle. Gasol cuts him off, and now the Sixers have to reset a little bit. The pass to Butler and then back to Embiid. He attacks, shoots a really nice step back jumper from 15 feet away. Nothing wrong with that defense. And now tie game, just over 3 minutes left. The Sixers have called a timeout, and coming out of it, look how slowly Ben Simmons brings the ball up the court. He passes it off to Harris, and still no action happening, no advantage gained until Embiid gets the ball with just 10 seconds left on the shot clock now. He hands it off to Redick. Gasol comes out on him to prevent that three-point shot like we've been talking about. Redick finds Embiid at the arc with Ibaka streaking out towards him, runs him off the three-point line, and then Gasol has slid all the way down from the top of the key, cuts off that drive, Embiid passes it to the opposite corner. Kawhi gets a piece of it, and as Butler recovers, Siakam gets right up on him, hands up, not fouling, just taking up all of his space, and the shot clock expires as Butler's trying to find Embiid, and I bet the Sixers wish they had another 5 or 6 seconds to try and get a shot out of that possession. And now as the Sixers slowly get into their action again, Butler comes off the screen. He tries to drive at Gasol's body to force the switch, but Kawhi does a nice job of getting back into the play. However, as Butler comes off the Redick screen, Lowry has to switch out onto him. And now as Butler comes off the second Embiid screen, this time Gasol's going to have to switch out onto him. Gasol with a pretty nice job moving his feet. Butler gives it up and gets it back. And with time running out on the shot clock, Gasol knows he needs to shoot it, so he presses up, gets his hand up, gets a piece of the ball. That's an air ball and would have been a second consecutive shot clock violation if it hadn't landed right in Lowry's hands. Incredible execution and pressure from the Raptors on defense. And now a minute and a half left. Watch Lowry weave his way through these screens to prevent Redick from getting the handoff from Butler. Incredible effort and tenacity. Butler tosses it to Embiid instead, and then you see Siakam with a little bit of ball denial on Tobias Harris, forces him to catch it way out by half court, and here Harris wants to drive down the sidelines, but Gasol is there, so he takes a step backwards. Gasol shifts, and then Harris tries to drive, but Gasol reads it perfectly and cuts it off. Embiid is open, but check out Lowry watching this develop. He's going to streak in there, get the steal. Embiid flails, trying to get the foul called, not coming, and Lowry finds Siakam, who extends for the incredible finish to put the Raptors up 4. Great work by Gasol, Siakam, and Lowry to create that turnover and bucket. And from there, I think we all remember what happened. A couple fouls, and then the greatest shot in Raptors history, and that would be the ball game. That would be the series. The Raptors go on to the conference finals to face the Milwaukee Bucks after disposing of the Sixers in 7 games. Thanks for watching, and if you want to see more videos like this, hit that subscribe button and let me know what you thought of the Raptors defense in the comments.